Sudin Apte of Offshore Insights joining us. And of course, we also know that Sudin has been tracking the sector for a very long time. Sudin, thanks for joining us. Tell us, what do you make of this appointment when it comes to Salil Parekh?
Sure. I think first point, it is good that they have got a person from outside who is fairly senior, would be based, sort of a near client as well as knows the offshore location. So I think, from experience and profile perspective, surely a good fit. So that's my point number one. Point number two, I think, it's good that, it's not delayed further. So from timing perspective, they had said October end, for appointment, slightly delay here and there, which is okay. So, good that they have come to conclusion and have got somebody who is fairly experienced, can handle this scale, because, Capgemini is a fairly of a similar scale. So, very similar experience, very similar profile of business handling. So, good fit, prima facie.
Sudin, the last time we spoke about were certain concerns that had to do with Infosys. This is, of course, the cloud around the various reasons that were in speculation behind Vishal stepping down. Since then and now, what is it that investors, according to you, will keep an eye on when it comes to this particular appointment?
Well, I think the concerns remain, irrespective of the person who comes in the chair, the growth need to come back. The stability in organization is very much required. They need to have a clear direction and possibly now need to leapfrog in terms of digital automation, the maintaining or defending the traditional services business, which is like 80-odd% for Infosys. So I think those things are very much important. But I think one uncertainty has gone, which is a good news, I guess. And that's why I say that, now they have a person who, prima facie really feel that, a decent fit for the role. Let's see how things evolve. But the concerns in terms of unfinished agenda, obviously one has to see how they perform on those parameters.
Right, Sudin. So when it comes to the role of this new CEO and MD, how much of the challenge is to do with Infosys itself, and how much of it that has to do with the entire industry and the challenges that the industry faces?
Well, I think a good point in a sense. See, the industry is undergoing tremendous transformation, right? The way clients are buying technology in terms of the scale, in terms of, the periphery versus back-end IT systems, which was Indian IT company's strength, newer technologies, the role of business leaders in decision-making. I think a lot of those things are changing, not only for Infosys, for everyone, which we had been saying for last, 2-3 years, and is going to continue for some time. And in fact, the old industry format and the buying pattern are never going to come back again. So there is a challenge for industry. Compared to that, we also had been saying that the transformation of Indian IT industry has been slow. They're not in pace with the, or I would put it this way, they're not transforming as fast as their clients are adopting the newer things. Obviously, there is a lag, and that's why the growth is slower compared to technology sector growth, or emerging technology growth. So that industry challenge continues. In case of Infosys, I think it used to get compounded, or it got compounded for the last couple of years, because they had internal challenges also. So I think now what Salil has to address is 3 or 4 things. Point number one, get the growth back. Ideally faster than the industry average, because that's what status and reputation of Infosys as a company had been for last 2 decades. So get the growth back faster than industry average. Point number 2, he need to reinstate confidence, first in clients and also employees, so that, this is going to be a long-term relation. This is going to be a stable relation. There's going to be, sort of a cordial relation amongst all stakeholders. So he has to reinstate that confidence in all stakeholders. Point number 3, I think from Infosys investor perspective, apart from these 2 very crucial and actually to me really more important things, there's a third thing which I think everyone will watch, is how he, gels with founders. So that would be the third thing, because which played a very big role in exit of Vichalsika. So these three parameters surely he need to work on, and I think a third point more from investor perspective. Fourth point, I think for people like me, first and two are more important, but fourth point also is important is how he's going to build the strategy and how they are going to articulate that strategy to the clients. So the future, 12 months down the line, 18 months down the line, or 2 years down the line, the performance is much better than what it has been in last couple of years or years, before that when Shibu was at the helm. So I think these are the 3-4 things Salil will have to really work on at a very high level. Then one can go and drill down later.
Fair enough, Sudin. Thanks for joining us and giving us your outlook and also a perspective on what Salil Parekh can bring to Infosys.